So anytime we can pre-assemble something and get away with it, we like to do it just because it makes for a more clean end result, at least in my opinion and from my experience. So we put this together as one unit, and it's 3 windows in the master bedroom. And anytime your windows are close enough where you can make them one, it usually looks pretty good. Now, if they're like a foot apart, you could probably trim them out and, you know, individually, and it'd look fine. Or if you wanted to make them one, you could put like some kind of detail inside in between, you know, the windows, because if you had just this big 1x12 right here, it might not look too good. So this is a 1x12 ripped down to 8.5 inches, and I think it goes with the look because it's a real minimal look. We're gonna have a header cap up top and then a little piece of trim right above the top of the casing. So it'll be like a real classic look. This is a real simple build. This is all done using Windsor 1x. We did 1x4 on the inside jams, 1x6 for the stool and header, and then like I already mentioned, 1x12 for in between the 2 windows. So with this right here, we chose to assemble this using our brand new John Deere pocket cutter right here. And no, I'm just kidding. This is the Castle, but with the colors that they chose, I had to do it. I had to put a John Deere sticker on there, and I got one on the exact opposite side over here too, because with these colors, it was just asking for it. And when I use this thing, I like to pretend I'm like a farmer driving down the field, dropping seeds precisely in a row in some past life of mine. But yeah, that's a topic for another video. So we chose to use this because we pocket screwed a lot of stuff with this, and it's so quick. So to give you an idea, after I had all my parts cut for this, I was able to pocket screw everything in under 1 minute, literally. Dude, look at that. So perfect. I mean, I would not do that with another pocket hole jig. It's kind of annoying to use another pocket hole jig. So having a good tool that can increase my efficiency, and not only my efficiency, my capabilities as well, is always nice to have in the truck. So I'm running out of room in the truck. Probably gonna have to buy a trailer soon, but again, another topic for another video. So we put this together using pocket screws, and one advantage of this one too, I will mention, versus like the previous jigs we used in the past, is that if you ever pocket screw something together, you know you've had this happen where you don't get your face frames lined up, or in this case your window casing assembly or door casing assemblies, or we do a lot of wainscot. There's been times where we pocket screw something together and one piece like bypasses the other one, and there's like an overhang, and once you're screwed that in, you're kind of stuck with that hole. Now with this one, since this drills the pilot hole on this pull stroke, if you don't know what I'm talking about, go back and watch the video where we first unboxed this thing. When you pull this back, it drills a pilot hole, and it's like a 3/16 pilot hole. It gives you, I'll use the technical term here, it gives you some wiggle room to kind of readjust. So say I screw something together and it's off. Well, I could back that screw out, readjust, and then screw it back in, which you can't do on other jigs. So that was a huge, huge factor in this thing, and I didn't even know that until after I purchased it, but that was a huge factor in choosing to use this for this, because typically in the past I nail these together using 15 gauge finish nails, and I'm not opposed to still doing it that way, but it's just, you have that room for adjustment, and that's always nice to have. So, and I've never done it in 3 windows like this, so that's also plays in here. So let's come around back of the side of this and look at it, and you can kind of see I just did 2 pocket screws on the inside jams here. So we got 2 pocket screws going in here on the inside jam, and then on our casing 2 pocket screws, and then again wrapping around here. And anytime you pre-assemble something, you kind of make it like just a scooch under from what you actually measure, because you don't want to be beating this thing in and give it an educational beat down and busting up drywall and stuff. But there's always a little bit of mallet work in a pre-assembly, so we're gonna have to probably mallet this thing in and get it fit. But yeah, that's kind of my tip on pre-assembly. Make it just a hair under and you should be good to go. So that's what I did here. Pocket screwed those together. Pocket screwed the jams up there with the top jam or the header jam, and then of course the header casing going across the top gets the same pocket screws. And then when you're trimming out a window, especially an existing window that already has drywall and it's already finished like we have at this house, there's always that bead of caulking between the drywall and the window itself. And to avoid that, we just back bevel our jams, and we do that like around 30 degrees. I just swing the table saw over, find somewhere around 30 degrees and just rip these down. If you don't do something like that, or at least cut the caulking out, you're gonna see it's not gonna wanna hug as tight to that window. And I don't feel like taking a knife and scrapers and cutting up caulking. So we just back bevel these, and that's essentially it. So we're gonna take this thing in and see how it fits, and then we're gonna make sure it's good to go. Now, one thing I will say too, this stool right here, or sill, whatever you want to call it, people call it different things. This board right here, I already made sure that fit. I'm not just going off just my raw measurements on that, but I made this stool and then I dry fit that, and then I built everything up from there. So we should be good, and let's go give it a shot. All right, so that went really smooth. We were able to get it in first try, thankfully. But again, with the pocket screws, if I needed to make an adjustment, I could unscrew them, make that adjustment, and then screw it back together, no big deal. Versus the 15 gauge finish nails that I used to use, not so forgiving. So I'll show you this up close. If you come in right here, you can see, we've got this gap right here up against the window, but that back bevel on it, if I push against it, it hugs a lot tighter. Now, if I didn't have that bevel on it, we wouldn't be that close right there. So that right there is a nice tight fit. Once we shoot this, that's gonna hold good. And then here's the little security thing right there we notched out for. So that hugs around there tight. Overall, really nice tight fit all around. So we're gonna make sure it's level. Once it's level and flush, which we marked those off, those notches around the security devices for being level. So, I mean, it should check out. But after that, we'll pretty much just install it, and then we'll wrap it with our trim up top, and then we'll also put our apron on. So we'll pop the apron on right there, and then this thing will be good to go. All right, so that is a wrap on casing these 3 windows in 1 unit. Let me know what you guys think of this. I think it looks pretty good, pretty classic look with minimal moldings up there. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about pre-assembly. Anytime I can get away with it, I'm gonna go for it. It kind of makes things easier and makes everything fit together.